He's going to leave and their captain's going to leave, so, yeah.
Wouldn't want to be a Crystal Palace fan today.
I don't know, I think Man United might win.
And they're not very happy with the transfer strategy.
Hello and welcome back to Pint Size Presses, HaytersTV's Friday football show, bringing you the best of the presses from the Premier League action. Well, I'm Aish Galati. I'm joined by Dan Bennett and Nayan Murthy. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
It's good to be back. I've not been here for a while.
Both and you've not cheersed each other. I just.
Well.
Yeah, good to have you back hosting. Save me from the hosting rules.
Yeah, well, doing my
prefer this position.
It is good to be back. And of course, as always, we are here at Box Bar Piccadilly, the best place in London to watch sport. It is full of screens, it's got karaoke, it's got shuffleboard, absolutely everything your heart desires. Get yourselves down here, watch the best of the action this weekend. Well, without further ado, our colleague, journalist Stan Smith, heard from Pep Guardiola at the Manchester City training ground earlier today to preview that big Manchester derby.
I'm here at the City training ground where we heard from Pep Guardiola ahead of the Manchester derby. The City manager was also asked about transfer target Mark Gahey, with the English defender set to leave Crystal Palace.
Hi Pep. There's been reports today about Mark Gay and the club's interest in him. Can you say anything? Okay, just generally though, his position, the defensive positions, how difficult are these injuries making things at the moment for you and the team?
Without John, without Ruben, without Josko, we are in that difficult situation for no one game, but a long, period. It's a difficult situation. But Ruben will be back soon. Josko no. John hopefully we'll see. So.
Hot off the press is not something Pep Guardiola said, but actually something Oliver Glasner said, that Mark Gahey is in the final stages of a deal moving from Crystal Palace to Man City. The rumours were there. It's been all but confirmed now. What do we make of this? What's Gahey going to add to an already phenomenal City team?
Well, it was just a few weeks ago when Pep Guardiola was complaining about not having defenders, Josko Vardiol being out, and Ruben Diaz being out for over a month. So this is going to be a massive sign. They had to bring back Max Elaine from Watford at the start of the window to cover in their centre-back hole that they've got at the moment. He's played the last 3 games, so now having Mark Gahey, who's a world-class defender, has helped Palace win the FA Cup, the Community Shield, and it's going to be massive, and I'm worried for Arsenal.
And Dan, not just Gahey, but Semenyo too, who's going to be making his first league appearance.
Touched on my point there, yeah, about I think Arsenal should be looking over their shoulders and be a bit worried based on what Manchester City are doing this month. I mean, they've signed Antoine Semenyo, who's one of the best in the league in his position. They've signed Mark Gahey, or they're about to sign Mark Gahey, who's one of the best in the league in his position. I mean, they're not waiting around. They're going all out for another Premier League title and signing some high quality players. And like say Semenyo there, he's already had a brilliant start to his Manchester City career and first Premier League game. I think maybe he'll continue that scoring run he's had at the club already.
Yeah, proven Premier League players for sure. Well, the big signing from the Manchester United department is not on the players' side, but of course the manager side. And ex-player who was interim manager for 3 games back in 2021, Michael Carrick, is at the helm until at least the end of the season for United. Now, what do we make of this one, Dan? Did we expect it?
Yeah, I think it was expected. I mean, obviously it sounded like they were going to get an interim manager until the end of the season, which we spoke about it last week a bit, me and Nayan, when you weren't here. But I think it does make sense somewhat, because you look at the manager market in the summer and it's going to be a lot more attractive. There's going to be a lot of big names around, and I think we're going to touch on them in a minute. Oliver Glasner has obviously also said that he is going to leave Crystal Palace at the end of the season. Said that just before we came on. We had a bit of a panic trying to get it all done, and but we made the show in Glasner.
Glasner was dropping some absolute...
Yeah, I mean, his press conferences go. I mean, sometimes it's like you're thinking, God, what am I going to write about now? But he said he's going to leave, and their captain's going to leave. So, yeah.
Wouldn't want to be a Crystal Palace fan today.
It's not a good day, is it, for Crystal Palace fans? But, he'll be available in the summer as well, so he's obviously one to look at. But, yeah, I think, Carrick's obviously got managerial experience now at Middlesbrough, and, he's got coaching experience. So I think he'll be trusted to take the reins until the end of the season when they get the new man in. Yeah,
and I mentioned it there. He did have a very short stint in 2021. He went unbeaten in those 3 games. He beat Arsenal, who had Arteta as manager, Villarreal, Unai Emery's Villarreal, and drew with a Thomas Tuchel Chelsea side. So Not bad going for those 3 games. I'm sure United fans will be hoping
Take that again, won't
he
they?
continues that form. But here at Haters, we like to show you a bit more than just the Premier League and presser action. We've got a throwback piece here with Michael Carrick. Now, this is great stuff. This is from about 20 years ago. Have a look.
Hi, I'm Michael Carrick. As a kid, I dreamt of playing for a Premiership club and even for England. Thankfully, that dream's come true. I got there because I trained hard and worked a lot with my ball control. Now you can do the same with the new Star Kick.
Introducing the new Star Kick, a revolutionary hands-free football trainer that can immediately improve your football skills.
Well, there you go. Michael Carrick with a few kids there using that Star Kick.
I think United could use that, couldn't they?
Yeah, probably
Based
could.
on how they've done recently.
Maybe Michael
Well,
Carrick.
and their ball control. Maybe he'll bring some with him to the training session.
His whole first training session already.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to see that footage. Yeah, for sure. Well, what do you make of this one? How do you think it's going to go? It's a massive game, Manchester derby. Michael Carrick coming in at such a crucial time. Nayan, give me a prediction.
Prediction, I think it's going to be a tough one for United. I think they're going to struggle, especially with a new manager in. So I think Manchester City are going to win this.
I don't know. I think Man United might win. I'm not really basing that off anything I've seen recently. I'm more basing it off the fact that
Vibes.
yeah, and United have seemed to have had a lot of these games in previous seasons where they're not doing very well, they're in a bit of disarray, and then a temporary manager comes in and they sort of park the bus a bit and somehow manage to get a win over one of their rivals like Liverpool or Man City. They seem to be able to get a result in the big games when they're not playing very well. So why not? I'm going for it. Man United.
I
What do you think?
think I'm with you, Dan.
Yeah?
Actually,
Wow.
The United effect with these old players coming in, having that sort of big rush of excitement. You saw it with Ollie. Rude had that short stint. He did all right. I don't know if I'll go for a win, but I think United will get something
Oh,
from
you
it.
changed it
Oh,
there. You're going for United win. Now you backtrack.
Oh.
Well, to be honest, whatever prediction we make, nothing is going to be as bad as Nayan's prediction
I thought we were going
last
to get away
week,
with this.
which we're going to put in right now.
This is my surprise prediction of the week. I think Exeter are going to win.
Really?
Manchester City.
Exeter to beat Man. That's my
prediction
prediction. Expect that at all. Wow. Well, there you go. I mean, we could come back at this and think about what a genius you are, but unfortunately, I just can't see it.
Yeah, here's a reminder.
Twist in my hand there.
Yeah, well, we all know how that Manchester City game ended.
Never mind.
I don't think there'll be 10 goals this week.
Because it did, made it an interesting show anyway.
Okay, well, another new manager. Chelsea versus Brentford tomorrow afternoon. Now, Liam Rosenior has come in at Chelsea, and it's his first game in the Premier League. What do we make of his appointment?
Well, it was a tough start, wasn't it? I mean, not the Charlton game, but his first home game as Chelsea manager was a very tough one. The hardest team in the league, in the League Cup. So losing that game wasn't so bad, but they did show spirit. Chelsea did. Garnacho scoring twice was definitely beneficial to him winning over the fans, as it were. But I think he might struggle to win over the fans before the game on the weekend.
Well, it is a game where we are expecting to see some protests. Now, not the only game this weekend where we're expecting that. What do you make of the situation at Chelsea at the moment?
Yeah, we touched on it a bit previously as well when we had Japtej on last week as well about the kind of difficulty of Rosenior coming in. I'm still practicing his name the way he wants it pronounced, and coming in against the backdrop of all this fan dissatisfaction and these protests. I mean, it's not an easy situation to be in at all. The fans really aren't happy with the ownership at the moment. I think Bedag Egbali seems to be bearing the brunt of that criticism. So it's difficult, but I think, we'll show in a minute, but when he's been asked about Rosenior, he's kind of gave the right responses that the easiest way to calm the noise is to win games of football. It really is as simple as that. If you start winning games, everything's sunny and bright, it's that is ultimate. I mean, I know Chelsea fans have got deeper concerns than that, and they, I'm sure they'll still be talking about them if they do win games, but certainly from Rosenior's perspective, that's what needs to happen. Yeah. So let's see if we can do that.
Absolutely. Well, we heard from Liam Rosenior earlier today.
Like I said, all I can focus on is my job. My job is focused on the pitch. I understand fans, all fans, they pay money, they love their club, they want the best for the club. What's best for the club is that we win games of football on the pitch. So the more we do that, the less chances we have of demonstrations. Like I said in the beginning, I'm here to try and help this club win trophies in a short and long term. And that's what my focus is on, is winning the next game and making people go home happy.
Okay, Nayan, I want a prediction for this West London derby.
It's been a strong start for Chelsea, and I think they're going to continue it. I think they're going to win again. Yeah?
Oh, I thought you were going on a bit more.
That was it.
Short and sweet, fair enough.
I'm not messing about with these predictions this week.
I've sort of rattled him a bit now. I mentioned last week. So I might disagree. I might go Brentford. I mean, Brentford are coming into this in 5th, ahead of Chelsea. They've been better than Chelsea, certainly of late. And I know it's at Chelsea, but they're a really difficult team to play against, Brentford, with the long throw of Michael Coyote's got and how direct they are. And Thiago's been on fire this season. So I think Brentford might win. I'm making some bold predictions, but I know that I don't think that's that out there really.
No.
When you look at the league table, certainly.
I'm going to go with a Chelsea win. I think new manager, get it off to a good start.
New manager bounce.
New manager bounce, exactly that. Right, well, another match tomorrow afternoon where we are expecting some protests is Tottenham against West Ham. Now, what do you make of the situation at Tottenham at the moment, Nayan, as our resident expert?
But these protests are very different to the Chelsea ones, where they are directly at the manager. I think a lot of Spurs fans have made it very clear that it's not the players, it's not even the ownership completely at fault. Thomas Frank has been taking the brunt of the boos, the brunt of the abuse from the Spurs fans over the last few weeks, and it's very clear to see why. They haven't won many games of late. They lost to Bournemouth, they drew with Brentford, and it's just been a really difficult start, and a lot of it's the football that they play. They've gone from Ange Postecoglou, where even though they did finish 17th last year, they played blockbuster football and attacking football, and often what Spurs fans will say is that's the Spurs way.
Whoa. Just to interrupt you there. 17th playing blockbuster football, or higher up the league playing boring football?
Well, they're not that much higher up the league as to.
That's the issue, isn't it?
They're 14th in the league, and they're not playing the football which they'd call the Tottenham way, which is definitely what I think the issue is with the fans. Is either you've got to be if you're going to play that football that Thomas Frank's playing, where it's long throws, it's set pieces, you've then got to be winning games like Arsenal are at the moment. But the fact that they're not winning games just means that Spurs fans aren't going to get on side. So he's really got to start getting results the way that they need to.
I was going to say, do you think Thomas Frank will be the main sort of target of these protests tomorrow then? I mean, there seems to be a bit of dissatisfaction with the owners as well, though, right? Still, I think, even though Daniel Levy's obviously gone, but still they don't seem completely happy with what sort of the Lewis family have done so far.
I think a lot of it is also, as well as Thomas Frank and as well as the results on the pitch, the transfer strategy is another thing that they've been Spurs fans very annoyed that Brendan Johnson went, which you can argue for or against. He scored the winner in the Europa League final, but also he had his faults as a player, but they weren't very happy with that, and then they haven't replaced him yet. They've still got 2 weeks to do it, but they haven't brought in a big name signing that's going to slot straight into the team in attack, which is where Spurs' issues lie. They bought Conor Gallagher, which is a step in the right direction, I think, but it's still not a player that Spurs definitely need, and they're not very happy with the transfer strategy, and that comes with the ownership, Vinay Venkatesham, Johan Lange, and Thomas Frank together. So I think it's kind of a joint bid against all of them. Whereas before it was just Daniel Levy.
Yeah,
that was what the process was for.
Well, our reporter Japtej Gura heard from Thomas Frank yesterday in his pre-match press conference.
Japtej Gura, HaytersTV. I am here at the Tottenham Hotspur training ground where Thomas Frank has just done his press conference ahead of the game against West Ham. Big news, and it's a blow for Tottenham fans, is that Richarlison is going to be out for up to 7 weeks with a hamstring injury. In other news, Thomas Frank spoke about new signing Conor Gallagher. He said that the midfielder was unplayable at times at Chelsea and fans should get excited.
Conversation I had with Conor, he really liked the experience in Atletico, really liked working with Simone, he really liked everything about it. Of course, we were privileged that he would like another challenge and it was possible. But I think that experience added to how he ended his last year in Chelsea. I think he was at times unplayable. I think he was a fantastic player for Chelsea that season. So that's the Conor Gallagher we are looking at. That's the Conor Gallagher that I'm thinking can step straight into this team and help us straight away.
Right, Dan, I'll start with you this time. Give me your predictions. Spurs against West Ham.
I mean, it's a huge game for both teams. I mean, obviously, Tottenham will be favourites and it's probably arguably a bigger game for them, but also for West Ham, given the situation they're in. I think if Tottenham lose this, I think it could potentially be the end of Thomas Frank. I mean, I don't know that for certain. I'm not, I haven't heard anything. I just
Maybe
think...
your crystal ball.
Yeah, I just think losing to West Ham at home with how bad they've been, I think, with all the protests going on, as you said, now, I think that could be really costly. I think Nayan mentioned Conor Gallagher there. I think he will improve Spurs. I think he'll bring a lot of dynamism, a lot more mobility to the midfield, which has been lacking that. So I think he will improve Spurs. Draw. Just keep Thomas Frank hanging.
I don't know if that will keep Thomas.
Yeah,
Frank
I mean that might not. Not saying he should be sacked or anything. And just think with the way it's going, but I think it could be a draw. Yeah, what do you think?
It's a big game for both sides. We haven't touched on how big it is for Nuno Espirito Santo as well, and West Ham losing this again would just be another step in the wrong direction. That
El Sakiko, as some are calling it.
I'm not sure what you can call it that. Nuno has been involved in an El Sakiko at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium before, and he did lose that, and he did lose his job, and I think he's going to do that again. Not lose his job, but lose the game.
Okay. Well, I was going to say that's bold. We've got writing off 2 managers in 2 predictions. I'm going to go for a Spurs win on this one. Okay, next up we've got Liverpool versus Burnley, and our reporter Nazira Youssef heard from Arne Slot earlier today.
I am Nazira Youssef from HaytersTV outside of Liverpool's training ground, the actual training centre.
Things we can improve, but that usually comes with risk, and the risk then is that we have to make sure that we don't concede too many counter-attacks, because that's what happened earlier on in the season when we faced the low blocks, that we were pushing, but then in a counter-attack we've conceded a goal. So in that period of time, we maybe have lost games that we are drawing or winning now, because I think in all these games we've not been creating enough chances, but I every time say the same, from all the ball possession we have. But earlier on in the season we also conceded 2, 3, 4 chances, where now we hardly concede a chance. So that's something positive.
So Liverpool on an unbeaten run of 11 games. Give me a prediction for this one.
Well, when you say 11-game run, you think there'd be loads of happiness and...
it sounds better than it is, really, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's really not the case. As much as Arne Slot's kind of not losing games, there's not been that much going forward. There's not been that excitement. And this is the last game before Mo Salah comes back. But so I do think they're going to win. But again, I think it'll be a struggle against Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been great, but I do think we have to remember where they were before this. They were losing games every week, and at least he kind of had stopped the rot and gone more defensive, and they're definitely more solid. I think he even said, we've not really conceded any chances in the recent games. But they're not scoring enough and they're not creating enough, for all the possession they had, which is something Arne Slot keeps talking about in his press conferences. For all the possession they've had, they're just not creating the chances that possession should generate. So, yeah, a lot of improvement still to make for Liverpool, but I do think they'll win this one. I don't think Burnley have been very... I mean, they've sort of shown a bit of encouragement in their performances, but yeah, I'd expect Liverpool to win this quite comfortably.
Oh, make it 3 from 3 and go with the Liverpool win too.
First time we've all agreed, I think.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth.
As always, do let us know in the comments your predictions. What are you expecting from the weekend's action? Get involved in the conversation on our YouTube channel at HaytersTV and across all social media. Right, well, we've got Nottingham Forest against Arsenal tomorrow at 5:30. This might be juicier than people might think, because in the last 5 games at the City Ground, Arsenal have failed to win.
And this season it feels different for them. They're everything about Arsenal has been brilliant. And as much as people call them, I think they're called Set Piece FC in his press conference earlier in the week, but they can win in any way. The way that they play is just, we're going to be better at you and what you're best at. And I think that's brilliant from Arsenal this season. Mikel Arteta, I went to the biggest game that kind of comes out to me about Arsenal this season was that Atletico Madrid game, where everyone thought it's going to be so boring. Diego Simeone, Arteta, 2 really defensive managers, but they came out of the blocks and they just looked like one of the best attacking teams I've ever seen, and they scored 4 goals. And I think this can be so different from last season, where Nottingham Forest were so well drilled defensively under Nuno Espirito Santo. Under Sean Dyche, they've had a sort of resurgence and they've been a lot better than they were, but they're still definitely not as good as they were last season.
Struggling a bit recently again, haven't they?
And I just think, I don't see that happening again.
Yeah, I think it's not been a happy hunting ground really for Arsenal. I went to the game last season. I think it was a goalless draw, and it was pretty drab, and it wasn't exciting at all. But I think Nan's right. I think it will be different this season. I think good to get that win over Chelsea in midweek for Arsenal as well. I know they probably weren't at their best and won't be happy to have conceded a couple of goals, which is unlike them. But think Victor Gyökeres getting a bit of a confidence booster as well. I mean, he couldn't really miss it, and he probably had Robert Sanchez to thank mostly for scoring that goal. But I think that's quite important as well. So, yeah, I think Arsenal will. I think it'll be big for them if they can put aside that recent form at the City Ground and win this. I think it'll be a big marker.
You say weren't at their best against Chelsea, but they still dominate that whole game. Chelsea.
Yeah, well, that's how high their standards are this season, though, isn't it? I think they'll be disappointed to have conceded 2 goals, and because it's not like them at all to concede.
It was 2 smash and grab goals for Chelsea. The rest of the 88 minutes where they weren't conceding 2 goals, Arsenal were completely on top. And I just think that's completely indicative of how Arteta wants to play.
Yeah, I mean, they're a long way ahead of Chelsea, aren't they, this season? It's not stating anything big there. It's quite obvious, I think.
I am getting quite distracted because there's a Ruud van Nistelrooy documentary on the screens here at Fox Bar, and showing his highlights, and there are a lot of them.
He'll be at the World Cup. He's just got a job with the Netherlands team as on the coaching staff.
I think United could use a striker like him right now.
I think so.
That's the sort of stuff you get at Box Bar if you come. Ruud van Nistelrooy documentaries.
Absolutely.
All sorts on here.
Doesn't tire seeing that sort of football, honestly. Well, back to the Arsenal game, and our reporter, James St Dennis, was at the Arsenal training ground this morning to hear from Mikel Arteta.
James St Dennis here from Arsenal's training ground. We've just heard from Mikel Arteta ahead of Arsenal's Premier League clash with Nottingham Forest. Arteta played down the argument between Declan Rice and one of his assistants during their Carabao Cup win against Chelsea. He also praised Victor Gyökeres for his mentality, saying he wants to fulfil everything with Arsenal.
I want to ask you about Victor Gyökeres, Mikel. Massive goal in midweek. Can you just give us an insight into how he's been behind the scenes, whether he's actually doubted himself and the kind of conversations you've had with him?
No, I haven't seen that. Obviously, he's a very demanding person. He knows the level that we need, and basically, he really wants to fulfill everything that we expect of him. And he's been really trying. He's been very consistent, and I thought that against Chelsea he had a great game and scored the goal that helped us to win the game.
Okay, so I've given you their bad record at the City Ground, but I want a prediction. How they're going to do?
I think after everything I've just said, I can't then predict Arsenal to do anything but win. So I think, the Arsenal are going to win.
I think I've already said Arsenal. I keep going too early with my predictions. I'm ruining the whole sort of format of the show by just saying everything that's coming into my mind. But yeah, I think Arsenal will win this. I think, like I said, it will be quite significant if they can put that recent run at the City Ground aside and get a win.
I'll play devil's advocate then. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I like a stat. So let's keep that stat going. Why not?
Well, I don't think it would be, wouldn't be too surprising, would it, given, like you said, their recent record. So, but I think Arsenal have enough, personally. We'll see.
5 more games in the Premier League we've not touched on. I want some quick fire predictions. Tomorrow, Sunderland are hosting Crystal Palace. We've touched a bit on Crystal Palace and that exciting press conference today. What do we make of that one? Nayan, give me a prediction.
Gay's going to be a massive miss for him.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned, but he's not going to play tomorrow. We'll see with his move almost being finalised. So.
Yes, I think that's going to be massive for Crystal Palace. They haven't been so great of late. They conceded a lot of goals and set pieces. And I think this is just going to add to that, and Sunderland are going to win.
Yeah, I agree. I think with everything that's gone on at Palace, they haven't been playing very particularly well recently. And with, the news that Glasner's going to leave and that Gay's going to leave, I think could affect them. Sunderland, I think. And they're very good at home. Sunderland, I think they've lost at home all season out there. So I'd say Sunderland.
Well, we'll make it another clean sweep because I was going to go Sunderland too.
You're going to play devil's advocate again.
No, Sunderland are going to win, I think. Yeah. So, okay, next up tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Leeds against Fulham. Dan, I'll start with you.
I think Leeds for this one. I think they've been good recently. Added Facundo Buonanotte, which is not an easy one to say, but I think he could be quite a good sign. He's not really played too much at Chelsea, but he'll bring a bit more creativity to the team, and they're looking pretty good. And yeah, they're good at Ellen Road, so I'll say Leeds.
Oh, I'm looking at another Harry Wilson goal. He's been excellent.
Well, he was actually, Leeds would try to sign him in the summer, so
they would have been good.
Fulham would be really happy they hung on to him.
He's been really good this season, and I think not only is he going to score again, but Fulham are going to win as well.
Oh, I like it. I'm going to go for a Leeds win on this one. Right, Sunday we've got Wolves against Newcastle. I am going to go with a Newcastle win on this one.
Well, I keep mentioning it every show, but I did correctly predict Wolves' first win against West Ham. I mean, I did predict them to win the week before and they lost, but we'll ignore that bit. saying that, you know, they have actually picked up recently.
Yeah.
They've been all right in the last few games.
Still not going to predict them to win.
I think they'll go back to losing ways this week. I think Newcastle will be too strong for them.
Yeah, Newcastle, as much as they did lose to Man City, I don't think they were that bad. I think they put up a good fight, and that'll continue into this game, and they'll get their 3 points.
4:30 Sunday, we've got Aston Villa against Everton.
Well, Aston Villa have just been brilliant, haven't they? It's really hard to look past the Unai Emery's team's form. They've had some really good players attack. It doesn't matter whether Ollie Watkins starts. Donyell Marlon started against Tottenham, and now he's at Roma, and they still managed to make it look really easy in the FA Cup. So again, I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I think at Villa Park they're really strong. I can't really see anything other than a Villa win. I think Everton are a bit inconsistent, so go with Aston Villa.
Yeah, I'm on Team Villa for this one as well. I'm not supporting them, but I think they're going to win. Okay, and finally, Monday Night Football is Brighton against Bournemouth.
It's a proper Monday night.
I was just about to say that.
It's a proper, you come back from work and put it on in the background, and there's none of those.
I'll be watching that intently. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you can do that. I'll let you do that.
I will.
The Bournemouth, again, without Semenyo, but I think they're going to win.
Oh, didn't think you were going that way.
Yeah, draw. I think that's got draw written all over it. Brighton, Bournemouth. It just seems like a 1-1 draw or something like that.
I'll go for the third option and go with the Brighton. But
All right.
Nice. One of us is going to be right.
yeah, exactly. Cover all bases.
Take the positives.
Well, there's only one thing left for me to ask you guys, and of course that is, who's your pint-sized partner this week?
So mine, kind of following on from the Tottenham chat we had earlier, is Conor Gallagher. I've got so many questions. One, how was Spain? And also, why would you join Tottenham right now is the other question, especially with where he plays, the position he plays in. It's kind of a position that Spurs have a lot of, not a lot of massive quality. I think he's better than the players they had, but it's not a position that Spurs needed. And I'm just wondering why he wanted to join Spurs at this current time.
Yeah, mine's a bit random, but I was thinking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because seemed like he was supposed to get the United job, and he was kind of in talks, and then it didn't really happen. And I'm a bit confused as to what kind of happened there. And you know, will he be a bit disappointed that he didn't get to go back? And you know, is it because maybe he wanted to have more assurances? But I think just to get his take on kind of what happened, because I think Carrick got sort of swooped in and got the job instead of him. So I think that would be quite interesting to find out about.
That would indeed. And I was torn this week between two. Michael Carrick being the one I'm not going for, but mainly because I want to sort of ask him about the star kicks and whether it improved his football. But I'm going to actually go for a different Ollie Glasner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is a good one, yeah.
I want to chat to him. I mean, I want to speak to him, obviously, about the fact that he's now decided that he will be moving on from Crystal Palace once his next move, all his players leaving. But also, turns out he was at Archer Street the other night.
Just down the road.
Just down the road from here. And just near where our office is. So I want to go to Archer Street and have a movie and a drink with Ollie Glasner. There you go.
I mean, I think we should say that it came out, after that. All this has come after that defeat to Macclesfield in the FA Cup. So, you've got also him saying he's going to leave, and then it's come off the back of that really bad result. I mean, it's been a terrible week. It's so bad as it really has.
I do remember in the summary he said, "If Gay goes, I'll walk." So it might even be part of that.
I mean, he didn't want to. Yeah, he wanted to, and now he's, it looks like they're going to lose him for the rest of the season. So
yeah.
Well, a man who sticks to his words. There we go. Well, thank you for tuning in to Pint Size Pressers this week. Do get involved in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts too. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back same time next week. Have a brilliant weekend. Enjoy all the football, and we will see you then.